Okay, so if you look on WebAssign, you have the ebooks, which you guys all know about now because of the extra credit project we did. At the end of chapter 5, there is a chapter 5 test, and in my book it's on page 395. I presume that's going to be the same paging on the ebook, but it hasn't always been the same on WebAssign, so thereabouts, the end of chapter 5. So this is a chapter 5 test. Work everything except 6, 21, and 24. Those are also very similar to the problems that we have on WebAssign. I have a WebAssign review if you want to do those instead. They're very similar. Question?
Is the WebAssign mandatory? Like, is it part of homework?
No. Okay. It doesn't affect your homework grade at all. Yeah, that's a good question because you can't tell that. Yeah, it is dropped from the grade book. So it'll give you points and everything, but it doesn't ever add it into your homework grade.
I guess doing that would be easier than doing this because it'll tell you the right answers.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'll tell you if you're wrong.
It'll tell you if they're wrong. And it forces you to do some steps, and I don't give you those steps on the test. So make sure, I would compare the questions to the ones in the book and make sure you would know how to do them from here.
Okay, I just...
Yeah, you can do either one, but see, the wording is going to be like this, but on WebAssign they give you some blanks to fill in. Yeah. So either one, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So let's run through here and I'll tell you what types of questions are on the test. It's all falling down. So you have to be able to, if I give you tangent theta equals a value, or sine theta equals a value, or cosine theta equals a value, you have to be able to tell me what theta is. And you're going to use your triangle. Use a triangle to find sine, cosine, tangent. That didn't work well. Sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta, secant theta, cosecant theta, and cotangent theta. When I give you cosine of theta equals to something and sine of theta equals to something. Or I could give you tangent of theta. I have to give you 2 of the 3 angles, and I'll ask you to find the others based off of that, so that you know exactly what whether it's in the first quadrant, second quadrant, that type of thing, so you know which ones to pick. That's the first type of question. The second type of question that you're going to see is going to be applying the fundamental identities to simplify an expression. So you might be multiplying something, you might be adding something, and then to simplify it even further, you apply your identities. Cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1, or that type of thing. So be able to apply your identities to simplify an expression. Be able to add fractions of trig functions. And simplify. So get a common denominator, add them together, simplify. Be able to verify. An identity. And you do that by plugging in. You're going to either factor or plug in some other identities into it to simplify it and to be able to get it, combine it together and go from one side to the other side, or work both sides down till you have the same value on either side of the equal sign. You have, I think this one was 2 questions. It's either 2 to 3 questions like this because there's varying identities to use. So we have 2 to 3 questions. So I know one of them that you have to do is going to be the sum and difference ones. You know, sine of A plus B or U plus V, those ones right there. So those sum and difference ones, you're going to have that. Yeah.
Just really quick, the things that you're writing down, is it like kind of in order from the chapter, like 5.1?
I don't know if it's in order from the chapters. It's in the order that they are in the test in the back,
Oh, okay.
which is actually the current order on the test that I wrote yesterday. So, yeah, it probably won't change the order. Be able to use a power reducing formula. This is going to be like if I give you sine to the fourth of x, you're going to rewrite it down into terms of cosine x. Or cosine 2x or cosine 4x. Whatever it needs to be. You're going to have to solve an equation that will probably include factoring first, or, and I haven't decided on this, or involve the sum and difference formulas. And you have two different types of those ones on here. And when you're using your sum and difference formulas, you're just going to expand it, plug in the values that you have, and it simplifies into something that you can solve very easily. You have to find exact values of sine 2x, cosine 2x, etc. It's going to be one of those given a triangle. So I will give you some triangle, some right triangle, and you'll have some value of x, and I'll have these all labeled with numbers all the way around here. And you have to figure out how to do sine of 2x. That's using your double angle formula, plugging your double angle formula, and then plug in the values for the sines and cosines from the triangle. You're going to find the exact value of, it's going to be similar to 105 degrees, and I will tell you what degrees to use. You don't have to figure out what to add or subtract like you did on the homework. I will tell you that. This will actually be in radians, but it's going to be similar to this one. I'll just have it as pi over something. And I think that is what's on the test.
What do you mean you have pi over 7?
So instead of 105 degrees, I might have it like pi over 9 or something like that.
Oh, and then I can just check.
Well, I would tell you what it's equal to. Yeah, and you would just look it up on the unit circle. Yeah. There are, I believe, 12 questions on the test. Some of them are very simple. Just look up the identity on the table and write it down. So I'll give you the first half of the identity. You write down the second half of the identity. Some are that easy. A couple of them are that easy. I will write an identity down and I will ask you if I have it correct or not. So it'll be a true-false question. Did I apply the identity correctly to the situation I was trying to apply? So that type of thing here, again, a very simple kind of question. And then the rest of them are more like these that are computational.
What are the equations
Okay, so what am I giving you from the back cover of the book? On these ones, I think I just give you that back cover of the book on this test is what I do. I just want you to apply them. We've already had the test over the definitions of sine and cosine and stuff, so I'll just photocopy that back cover and give it to you. Yeah, that's one of the handouts that I give you guys. So that's, you don't have to memorize the identities. You'll just forget them by the time we have another test anyway. No. The half angle identities are not on there, but I'm not giving you a test question over the half angle identities. So there's no half angle stuff. But make sure you know how to use the identities. Yeah. You're not memorizing them, but make sure you know how to use them. Otherwise, you'll spend the entire test trying to figure out how to use the identities, and you won't have enough time to finish. Yeah. And the extra credit is a verification of one of the identities using some of the other identities. So it's something you should be able to figure out at the end. I'll give you one of the identities, and I'll ask you to verify it using one of the other identities. And that is what the test looks like. It's right around 10 or 12 questions. Yeah, it's on Tuesday next week. I know. A month left till finals, so. And we have one more test to go. We've got to have this one soon. Yeah. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, we are done for today then. If you want to stick around and start working on it, you can. If you want to leave, you can.